We've reached the semifinals of the Western New England Tour event at Canal Lanes in Southampton, Mass. This is going to be Rich Bober against Gary Santora. And Gary wastes no time in getting started with a solid strike. Take another look at it. He just pounds the 1-3 pocket, and a 7-pin is the last to go. So he gets off to a fast start against Rich Bober. And that's a good thing to do, because Rich just threw a 151 game against Aaron Spiller in the quarterfinals. So Rich is obviously having a good day. And Rich drops 7 and leaves a split and is not able to convert it. And it's going to be a 9 box for Rich. And Gary Santora in the second frame will fill that strike. He drops 7, leaving a 1-2-4. Gary was the second. Gary, of course, is the second seed. The winner of this match will go on to face the top seed, Stephen Reno Jr. And Gary slips by the head pin, so he just takes a 7 on that strike. Let's see what Rich can do with this 5-6. Tough piece of wood, didn't really help him, so he just got the 5-pin. Gary takes a 10 box for 27 after 2. And Rich will take 9. So after 2 boxes, it's a 9-pin lead for Gary Santora, 27-18. Gary is another veteran of the Western New England Tour, having won, I'm not sure how many events on this tour, but he's won quite a few of them. But he's kind of struggled this year. I think this is the first event that he's cashed, so it's kind of... And there's a spare in the third box. Gary has not had a great year, but he finished second in qualifying today, so he finds himself in the semifinals. So matching spares in the third for Gary and Rich. And Gary drops 5 on the spare, missing the head pin. Rich drops 4. So after 3, Gary Santora leads 42-32, and Gary's going to try and run down this combination of 4 horsemen left plus the 8, and just goes by the head pin, leaving the 1 and 7. Wow, tough break there. Rich Bober punches out the 2-pin. He's thrown a couple of good balls there, but just a little too full on the object pin. And Gary will record an 8 in the 4th, and Rich gets a 9. Nice shot there to cover some of the sticks for a 9. Gary bowls out of Colonial Lanes in Worcester and Mohegan Bowl in Webster, Massachusetts. And Rich, I think, bowls out of Valley Park up in North Adams, Mass. Gary drops 6. I think that's 6, leaving a diamond, and he gets all but the 5. Rich Bober with a 9 drop and an 8-pin with some wood, and that's no problem. So Gary has a 9 box. So Gary has 59 through 5, and Rich Bober has 51 with a ball working. So if Rich is able to get anything more than 8, he'll take the lead. Nice ball by Rich. He drops 9, leaving the 5-pin, but he's got a tricky piece of wood in front of it. It's at an angle, and it might not he might have to hit it really high in order to get... And there's a strike by Gary Santora. Let's take another look at this. That ball just hits high flush in the 1-2 pocket, and the 7 pin is the last to go. Now this wood is going to be tricky for Rich. He may have to go high in order to push it back into the 5. And he might have tried to go a little too fine there. He just missed it. Didn't touch a thing. And you can see he was trying to go high and push it back. So Rich Bober has 69 through 6, and Gary Santora has 69 with a strike up. So Gary's lead will be whatever he gets on the first 2 balls in the 7th. Rich with a 6, 7, 8, 9 drop once again, leaving the 3 pin. Gary with kind of a similar hit, leaving a 3, 6, 10 with a piece of wood out front at an angle. Not sure if he's going to use the wood here or just go for the 3, 6, 10 directly. Meanwhile, Rich Bober takes aim at the 3 pin, but just goes by on the right side. That's a little frustrating to have 2 9 drops in a row and come away with nothing. Meanwhile, Gary punches out the 3 pin, so he leads 77 to 69, and Rich Bober just barely gets the 3 pin for a 10 box. Gary takes a 9. So that cuts Gary's lead to 7 pins, 86 to 79 after 7. As Rich delivers in the 8th box, and a light hit in the 1-2 pocket, but he has 8 and a 5, 6 split with some wood that looks pretty good there. He might be able to sweep that over and just take the 5 and 6. And I think there's 2 pieces of wood there. And if he goes about midway, ooh, he's got it. But I don't think that's how he played it. I think he went too high there. But let's take another look at it. Rich goes pretty high on this piece of wood. I don't think that's what he intended to do, but it comes off the wall, and he'll take it. So that's a spare in the 8th for Rich, and it's badly needed. Let's see what Gary can do with this 4 drop. Good bid, but a little too full on the head pin, so he's still got the 6-10 standing. And he just held on to that ball a little too long. Tugged it past the 6-10, so it's an 8 box. So that means that Gary has 94 through 8, and Rich Bober has 89 with a ball working. And he's only got 4, so it's Gary Santora still leads by 1 pin, 94 to 93 after 8. Gary delivers in the 9th and drops 6, leaving a 1, 2, 4, 10 with a piece of wood that I think might be frozen behind the head pin. So that's going to be tricky. And meanwhile, Rich just misses the head pin, clips the 3 pin, it comes off the wall and takes out the 10. And Gary just punches the head pin off. I think that wood was frozen behind it, so that meant that when he hit the head pin, the ball was deflected a lot more than it would have been. And there is a nice 10 box by Rich Bober. In a close match, that's important to get every stick. Gary with an 8. And here's another look at the 10 box by Rich Bober, which gives him a 1 pin lead, 103 to 102 after 9. Great shot by Rich to pick up every stick. Give him a 1 pin lead. And once again, he's got that same 4 drop that he had a couple of boxes ago. Or last box, actually. And Gary misses the head pin by a mile, but gets a nice break off the wall, and he's got 6. The 1, 2, 3, and 4 are left. And Rich punches the 3-9 back, so let's see what... If Gary can make this spare, that'll do it. And he does. It comes light hit, but the head pin comes off the wall and takes out the 2-4. So, it's a 7 for Rich Bober. So Rich will finish with a 110, and Gary's already got 112 with one more ball to throw. So Gary Santora will move on to the finals against Stephen Reno Jr. And the final score will be Gary Santora 118 and Rich Bober 110.